Why, hello and welcome everybody. It is Pohx again. So today I want to go ahead and cover the leveling guide portion for my low-life Righteous Fire character. Now, before I state this, you can literally, and this is not meant to be offensive, so if you get offended, I'm sorry. This is a game based off customization, creativity, and whatever else you'd like to insert. You do not have to do what I did. I'm simply sharing what I did to level up. There are probably 6 million different ways you could level, and about 10,000 more efficient ways, but this is simply the route that I followed and that I took. So let me go ahead and share it with you guys. So, I started off playing as Summoner, and the reason why I wanted to try out as Summoner is because I was curious to see how the new zombie AI, well, they didn't really change the zombie AI, but the new zombie jewels and stuff interacted. So I was like, oh, let me see if I like this character as a Summoner, maybe I'll remake it as a Necromancer. So that was the original path that I chose. So I want to go ahead really fast and go over some important uniques for leveling that don't really cost anything. So, on this screen listed right in front of your face, I've got your core leveling setup. You're going to be using Summon Raging Spirits, linked with Minion Damage, Melee Splash, and if you use a 4-link, you're probably going to use Melee Physical as well. Other people will tell you to do other things. That's cool. You can listen to what they say. This is what I used. Worked out just fine. You don't want to use Multi-Strike because it locks your minions in place. And we'll go into the next part here in a second. Some of the other things that are important to use would be the leveling uniques that you can see right here. As you can see, Diablo 2 is one of them as well. So, in terms of your gear, these are things that can carry you pretty much up until level 75, which is around when you're going to transition. The Baron Helmet. The Baron Helmet is a great helmet because it's for level 26, gives you strength, which is good for HP and requirements, but the main thing about it is the +2 to level of socketed minion gems. You can either choose to use zombies here, or you can choose to use your Summon Raging Spirits here. I personally chose to use my zombies because I wanted to see how strong they would be. It really doesn't matter too much of what you do. Your zombies will follow pretty much the same exact links as your Summon Raging Spirits. With your zombies inside this Baron Helmet, you pretty much never have to worry about them dying, and if you do have to worry about them dying, you can just easily recast them. Let's talk about the next one. Reverberation Rod. This is essentially where your minions will go, and this is for level 24. So you can see by the time you hit 24 and you hit 26, you're pretty much good for Merciless. The Reverberation Rod is a 3-link wand that gives +1 to socketed gems. It also gives you Echo, which essentially allows you to cast twice for free, and has like a little bit of a multiplier, but it saves you on mana. And then you can support it with, like I said before, your Summon Raging Spirits, Melee Splash, Melee Physical, / Minion Damage would be better. Doesn't really matter. And this will take you all the way up. If you want to get a bit more expensive and make your leveling process significantly more fun and easier, you can pick up a Queen's Escape at level 38. This will replace your Reverberation Rod and will be a 2-handed weapon. And if you do this, I recommend putting your SRS inside the Baron instead of using your zombies. But again, you can just keep the zombies, it's totally fine. The main reason why we want to use a Queen's Escape is because minions have 80 to 100% increased movement speed. What this means is monsters will die before they even get onto your screen. Maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration. When they enter proximity of your screen, your minions are already attacking them. And if you look back in some of my videos of me leveling this Righteous Fire character, you can actually see me leveling in Dried Lake with this weapon. If you choose to acquire this, you do not ever need to use anything different. You can literally use this weapon from 38 up until you transition. You're totally fine. Okay, so let's talk about the skill tree and kind of how it's going to look. So here's our current skill tree for our low-life Righteous Fire. The reason why I'm showing you this is because when you're leveling a summoner or you're leveling anything that's going to transition into it, you want to be as point efficient as possible, and you don't really want to go overboard on what you're spending points on because you're going to be respeccing. So for the sake of that, I'm going to try to build a tree that looks pretty similar to the character that we're currently playing. So we'll be playing a, let's see, Templar. Okay. So, as a Templar, we are going to either branch off through the regeneration or through the armor ES. Either one is totally fine. You can figure out which one works for you. For the sake of this, let's just travel out through the strength because it's the minimum points required. We're going to grab discipline and training for the flat life. We can move down, Combat stamina is also not too bad to grab, gives you some regeneration and whatnot. This is pretty much just to be tanky, you don't really have to pick it up. If you want to level as totems, you could probably level as Righteous Fire totems just fine, because we're going to get we're pretty much walking right by Dual Curse and Totemic Mastery. We're going to move down, grab Constitution, move up, and look at that, we've got our first set of minion nodes. So boom, go the minion nodes. I'm going to come up, grab our Jewel. Now it's important to grab pretty much everything regarding HP. HP is going to be your bread and butter for leveling, because you can't just start off as a low life character. I mean, I guess you can if you really want to. Mind Over Matter is another option, but you're probably going to be running auras for your minions. One of the most important, if not the most important aura to run will be Hatred with Generosity. What Hatred does is it's an aura that grants minions a percentage of physical damage added as cold based off of their physical. It's basically a multiplier, but it's added as cold damage, which gives them the ability to freeze. This is really good because zombies are pure physical initially, and SRS are hybrid between physical and fire, but it's still good for SRS. The other bread and butter would be Haste, but you don't need to run Haste if you're running a Queen's Decree. If you're not running a Queen's Decree, I'd highly recommend Haste, and Haste and Hatred are you're pretty much good to go. And you just need Aura Reservation to get that, and we'll be getting that shortly. So, Mind Over Matter, again, entirely up to you if you want to pick it up. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's a great survivability boost at the beginning of the game. So I'm going to move over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to grab our Purities, and we're going to go ahead and grab our Sovereignty. We don't really need to grab this Aura effect right now. If you're leveling as totems, feel free to grab Ancestral Bond. If you want to grab Resistance, feel free to grab Faith and Steel. You're going to use this later on anyway, so it's totally fine. You can choose to go for Death Attunement right away, or you can go ahead and transition this way. Feel free to grab Leadership. Harrier is good for the movement speed early game, and you use it later on anyway. Now we're getting to the fun part where we can now use hybrid nodes, which are great because they're also life. I'm going to go ahead and squeeze into the Witch here. You've got life here you can pick up if you choose to. We'll grab Lord of the Dead for 2 points. Let's move back up into Shadow. Actually, we don't technically want to go that way. It's actually cheaper to go this way, like this, because you save 1 point. And then from here, you can come down like this and grab Nullification, and you've also got Growth and Decay. Now, one other thing to note is that if you have a decent ES pool by this point, since we are, I guess, like, what, in our 60s or so, something like that, I don't really remember off of the top of my head, you can grab Zealot's Oath, and you can start grabbing the regen and just run a life flask, and that's totally fine as well. Remember, you don't really need to go too crazy in terms of your minion nodes as a summoner, because your minions are going to be really strong as they are. This is pretty much as you would ever need in terms of minion nodes, and the respec is very simple. You literally just pull out of the minion nodes and don't have to change anything with your tree. In terms of, I guess, the bare minimum requirements to run Righteous Fire, I'll have to create a separate skill tree and upload that, because I don't know exactly what you need pinpoint. I can kind of try to create it right now. Let me just save this current URL that I have at the moment for you guys, and I'll see if we can work with it step by step, and you guys can see me make a fool of myself. So here we go. We would essentially pull out of all minion nodes because we don't need the minion nodes whatsoever. So anything with minion nodes, we're just simply going to remove. We'll transition this way instead. Now remember, you don't need life anymore, so life is completely irrelevant for us. We don't need this, we don't need this. Let's move down here and grab some resistances. We won't take Dual Curse right away, so let's grab Unnatural Calm for 3 points. Very important to grab the Witch Energy Shield. One thing I did forget to mention is pick up Elemental Equilibrium for your minions. It is a huge bonus to the damage as well. And then I would say come down here like this. This looks pretty okay for a Righteous Fire character. Like I said, I don't have the exact perfect thing for you guys. I'm a very go-by-ear man. I'm not like a fucking, I like to sit down and stencil everything out. I just like playing the game. Even if it's unoptimized, I like playing my builds as they're shit and progressing and learning as they go. I do give a shout out to this guy pretty much every single time, and I'm going to continue to do so because he's got a guide on the forums. His name is Yalani, Y-A-L-A-N-I, I believe. You can look up his Righteous Fire, and you can go harass him with all the questions you guys harass me. I'm sure he's got much more tolerance because he doesn't have to deal with nearly the amount of people that I have to. So feel free to harass him with your questions as well. But this looks like a pretty okay tree for starting. You don't need dual curse right away. Dual curse is like when you're pushing yellow/red maps. And again, if you want to see like the budget requirements for getting that, I have a YouTube video on that as well. I've pretty much got YouTube videos covering everything about this character on my channel, and it's for you guys. Remember that, it's not for me. I know a lot of the time people, like, I guess subconsciously they join a stream and they ask a question like, hey man, when did you do bandits, or what did you do for bandits? And oftentimes people will just be like, go watch the YouTube video. And they'll think in their head subconsciously, like, man, this guy's a fucking douchebag. It only took him 2 seconds to answer the question. And it's sometimes it's like, well, dude, you know, we have to answer these questions hundreds of times a day. Could you please just be so kind as to just follow the directions and just look at the guide, because that's what it's used for. So I'll be doing my best to compile all these videos and essentially putting them in a playlist. And actually, I may be working on an Excel spreadsheet to have all of my builds listed in there as well. But I am going to need some help for that because I don't know how to use Excel. I don't even know how to fucking use WordPad or Notepad. Like, I'm still on those, and supposedly there's like Notepad Plus and like fucking, I don't even know, some other new stuff. I'm still stuck in like the Stone Age with fucking Fred Flintstone. So anyway, that's pretty much going to be it for me. I'll have both of these links posted down below. The last thing I want to tell you guys is in terms of progression and whatnot for the Guardian, I would highly recommend grabbing Prayer of Glory for your normal difficulty lab, because Prayer of Glory gives the movement speed, attack speed, and cast speed to your minions, which is really cool. And then I would simply get Unwavering Faith, and then don't go Righteous Fire until you buy an Uber Lab carry or do it yourself, because you would get Time of Need, and bam, your character's good to go. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. I hope you guys had a wonderful time. If you did, feel free to drop a like and or hit that subscribe button. I really do appreciate it. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but my YouTube views have went up 442%, and that's all thanks to you guys within the past month. And my subscribers have went up by like 180%, so big shout out to you guys. I appreciate all the support. That 40K goal for subs is actually coming up quite soon. Let's see if we can beat our Twitch followers at 44K. But yeah, absolutely, thank you so much for all the support, like I said. Remember, if you have a question, hopefully something that's not answered in the guides, feel free to join my channel at twitch.tv/Pohx, where you can find me streaming live every day. Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful time. Hope you guys enjoyed yourself. And as always, I'll see you boys all tomorrow. Take care, everybody.